Yeah, I think if it's been proven for it, you know, if people can legitimately get better, why not?
The different drugs that are available to treat illnesses.
It helps with eating and such. Takes away the pain. You don't have to use drugs as much, painkillers.
I know people with serious illnesses benefit from medical marijuana. Since I've worked in the dispensary here and I've watched it happen, and I've watched people's opinions change as they saw relief for their loved ones, particularly after chemotherapy, not vomiting and having to lay around for 3 days. Kids can get up and go play. They have a cookie before their chemotherapy. I've seen a very positive effect.
Not a chance.
Yeah, I do think it has serious consequences. Similar to smoking cigarettes. I mean, how could it be good for you?
Yeah.
The act of inhaling smoke into your lungs and everything else, the toxin, the things that it brings in, it's just unhealthy, it's unnatural, and it's more, I think it's...
I suspect that it probably does. I really can't say definitively because I haven't seen any sort of medical journal information on that, but at the same time it seems reasonable that it would, but I think that there are alternative solutions to that use, such as
I don't know
legalization.
for certain, but I would think that any smoke that you ingest is not good for you. So that's my take on that. Probably it might be less harmful than cigarettes, but it's, I would say it's not good for you to inhale any kind of smoke.
No. Like, again, it hasn't been proven for any of those kind of effects. Like heroin and meth and all that stuff, like, that's bad. We know that. But, like, it's never been proven for marijuana.
Absolutely not. That's just silly.
Definitely not, because both of those are proven to be addictive, and, like, I don't know. I think it's just not good.
Alright, that's...
Well, as I mentioned to you about the fact that our state legislators have now abdicated their responsibility for putting some kind of limit on marijuana in terms of chemicals in your blood and how it affects your brain, just like we have on alcohol. I don't think that there's enough enforcement of alcohol regulations to begin with. When people get DUIs and they get another DUI and they get another DUI, and you know, the third time they've killed somebody's family member, or the fourth time they've killed somebody's family member, and it's like DUI after DUI after DUI. It's like, wait a minute. At some point in time, the person who is getting the DUIs needs to take responsibility for their actions and for their consumption. And I think the same thing would be true with any drug, medical marijuana, heroin, cocaine. If they are using and abusing, and other people are hurt in the process, and the costs are not borne by the person who's involved in that activity, then I can't support that.
Okay.
Well, as we've discussed with previously before you started recording, that there might be some benefits for some people if it were used like in a medical setting, like you talked about, the extract for cancer patients in order to keep the reflexive vomiting thing from happening so that they can actually gain some strength and heal more effectively. But the other aspect of whether or not it should be legal is, what does it do to society as a general, in general, I should say. You know, what are the negatives? How does this impact our society? Will it be a net generator of revenue for the you know, taxing authorities, or will it be actually a drain on resources because of all of the other aspects of legalizing and regulating and taxing and all of the overhead involved with that, and regulatory stuff, and whether or not there's any criminal activity, because if it's too high in terms of, you know, the taxes, et cetera, then criminal activity does come into play. It's just like when you have cigarettes that are taxed out the wazoo, and then you've got people who are smuggling cigarettes across the border, and you have issues with crime and that kind of stuff going on when you legalize something but you tax the snot out of it. Alrighty? So there might be some benefits, but there's always a cost. So you have to weigh the benefits with the cost. How many people are going to benefit, and how much is it going to cost, and who's going to pay those costs? The people that are not involved in marijuana or medical marijuana, depending on how you look at it. If they're paying the burden of those costs for the few that are enjoying the benefits, then it doesn't seem like a very fair trade-off.